Trevor Lawrence is 10 of 19 for 105 yards.
I'm impressed that he's got that many yards.
I mean, I haven't caught any of his game, guys, but like that's par for the course for Trevor Lawrence. I think I'll have to go. I'm sorry.
I have.
I overslept.
It's been fascinating.
And the fact that the Rams are really good.
Well, just watching, we talk all the time, the three of us, that sort of thing, and more. It's obviously a lot more than us just now, but about how Trevor Lawrence is really kind of a sham as a top flight quarterback, especially paid the way he is. And nothing has made that more clear than this game. Like, yes, it's raining. The elements are there. It was sloppy earlier. Like, even Matt Stafford was throwing the ball, and it did not really have a good feel of it, that sort of thing. And then, like, partway through the second drive, and ever since then, you've seen Stafford adjust, and the ball's going wherever he wants. Trevor Lawrence, meanwhile, looks like he has no idea where the ball is going once it leaves his hand. Doesn't matter if it's 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, 5+ yards down the field. It's just an absolute scattershot crapshoot with him. And it's just such a perfect encapsulation of the difference between Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback, and actually good NFL quarterbacks.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? This team, this Jaguar team, they beat the Chiefs.
They did, but okay. But to be fair, the Chiefs aren't great either, Evan. Like, they're okay. They're very similar to what they were last year, where it's like when they win games, you're kind of like, wow, they gutted that one out. Does that change with Rashee Rice this week, though? They've got a new element back in this offense. They didn't have him most of last season. He got hurt after, what was it, week 4. Does this change? Like, is this scary for the rest of the AFC guys?
Not scary, but it definitely makes a bigger difference for this offense because Rice is that wide receiver they need. Because Xavier Worthy ain't no wide receiver 1. I don't care what anybody tells me. And who else are they going to throw the football to with Travis Kelce not looking the same as he used to? Juju Smith-Schuster? No, thank you.
Yeah. I've got Rashee Rice at wide receiver 10 this week. Lou, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't... listen, I'm a Bills fan. You know, everybody knows this. All due respect to you, Evan. You're an NFC team fan. Until the Chiefs are dead, buried, and like, you know, sacred rites being done over their graves, they are still alive and still a threat, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Yeah. Well, you know what's wild? Oh, go ahead, Lou.
No, you're good. So it's just... yeah, they're a threat. With Rashee Rice, it's, you know, I don't like projecting guys that high, first game back from injury, from suspension, that sort of thing. And the wide receiver outlook this week is just, it's bleak enough that I still have Rice at wide receiver 11, just based on expected volume alone against a really, really bad Raiders defense.
Are you ready for this, Lou?
Oh, I don't know.
We're lower than consensus on Rashee Rice. He's wide receiver 9 in consensus rankings heading into the games.
Wow.
Right. And I moved him up. I had him at wide receiver 18 coming into the weekend, and I started thinking about it yesterday. And the reality of what Rashee Rice is and what he's going to be, I mean, come on, dude. They don't have anybody else to throw the ball to. Like, you're, Tyquan Thornton? I want to get to this question here real quick, guys, in Twitch, because that is what we are here for. If you're watching, guys, make sure you throw those questions in the chat. We're going to help you set those lineups this morning. Zapatronics wants to know, are the winds bad for the Dolphins still? Evan is in Chicago, and you've got some news on that weather, buddy.
So it's not the Dolphins game. It's Saints at Bears today, but I can at least answer for Saints at Bears that, yes, it is wet. The tarp is over Soldier Field right now to try to keep it drier. The rain is looking like it's not going to disappear until later this afternoon. I'm no meteorologist, but it's looking like it's going to stick around at 12 noon Central, but then probably by 2 or 3 o'clock Central, the rain will be gone. It'll just be still just wet conditions. So I don't expect that to stop the passing game for either team because both teams are still going to have to throw the football no matter what. So don't be afraid of the rain and any possible wind in Chicago. It's normal for this time of year anyway. For the Dolphins game, I can't speak on that. I don't know if you guys can.
I can.
Well, go ahead, Lou.
Yeah. This is from a local weather reporter. as of 11 a.m. local time. After a brief break in the rain for many, showers are filling back in from west to east. Expect showers to continue through this evening, so it's going to still be wet. Winds will also pick up this afternoon. They'd come down a bit with gusts between 25 to 40 miles per hour. Some higher gusts are possible closer to the lakeshore. So this is not the apocalypse that people thought it was going to be. Gusts in the 50, 60 mile hours, sustained winds in the 25 to 40 mile an hour range. It's more like that's going to be the peak. So I'm not necessarily off of like the waddle as much, that sort of thing. I still think it's going to be a messy, ugly game.
Yep.
But it's not looking like as damning as it was, maybe this time yesterday. Yeah,
and that's fair. What I will say is that even 40-mile-an-hour gusts, that's pretty bad. And you've got two is a bad quarterback. Dylan Gabriel's a rookie quarterback. Quinshon Judkins to the moon, and probably both of these defenses as well. I don't hate the Miami Dolphins defense as a play. I've been saying it all week. It's weird because their defense is atrocious, but in this matchup, turnovers, bad weather, a team that's already turning the ball over. We've got this one again on Twitch. Hunter M 2017 wants to know Caleb Williams or Bo Nix today. For me, it's Caleb Williams. Evan, which way are you going?
It's easily Caleb Williams. Hunter M, I say this on every stream. I hope this isn't a one quarterback league, but if so, you don't need to hold on to Bo Nix if you already have Caleb. Just go ahead and drop Nix. Caleb Williams I have at quarterback 5 this week, and Bo Nix at quarterback 15. Even against a bad Giants defense, I don't have a lot of faith in Bo Nix as a QB1 this season. He's more of a high-end QB2 for me. So, yeah, go ahead, fire up Caleb. It'll be okay.
Yep. Lou, are you on the same wavelength here as us?
Yeah, I don't have Caleb quite as high, mostly just because I like other guys better. I like Caleb just fine. If he's still a strong QB1 play, it's just, that whole tiers versus actual rank sort of thing. He's in the same tier as my QB5, so I don't have a problem with that. Nix is not. He lives in that, like Evan said, that high to mid QB2 range.
Yep.
It's what he is. Sean Payton is who he is. Denver doesn't run a real offense. I think Nix could be okay in a different offense, and it's just, this is what it is, and that's got it. Yeah. We just kind of have to accept that for now in this season, and that's who and what he is. But he's probably not going to be your preferred option many weeks, if ever, especially with if these two are your choices.
Yeah, how the turntables have turned here with Bo Nix, because we all had him as a top 10 quarterback heading into the season in our draft rankings, or at least I did, and it just really hasn't materialized. I've got him at QB 13 this week because it's the Giants, but I've got Caleb Williams at QB 8. So, for me, that's an easy one here. This one's a little harder, guys. Lamplife 683 on Twitch. Jaden Daniels or Dak Prescott at quarterback. Lou, let's start with you.
That's a great problem to have this week, man. These are like in my top quarterback tier. These are two of them. I have Dak as my QB1 this week. CeeDee Lamb's back. Pickens has obviously been showing out. That Washington defense is still not good. I expect, obviously the Cowboys defense is bad, so they have to score a lot of points. I think Dak is just going to absolutely throw it all over the yard today, in just one of his absolute peak games that he throws out every now and again. I've got Jaden Daniels as my QB4. I think he's still going to be very good, but without both Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel this week, it brings his ceiling down enough for me to have Dak over him.
So this is fun. I've got Jaden Daniels as QB1 and Dak Prescott as QB2 this week. Kind of right in the same windows as consensus. So I'm going to go Daniels over Dak. But for me, really honest to God, this is a toss-up. You can go either way. This is like Lou said, wonderful problem to have. Evan, how do you feel about this one?
I'm a little bit different. We all agree that Jaden Daniels is QB1 this week against a really bad Dallas Cowboy defense that has some talent, but they're stuck with Matt Eberflus making really bad plays. Play calls for them. So, yeah, Jaden Daniels should eat against this awful Dallas defense. And I have Dak Prescott at QB3 this week just because he's got the good weapons, but the Commanders also don't really have that good of a defense. The Bears proved that last week. They gave up enough yardage and points to my Bears to just take that last second L that I was very thrilled about after, especially what happened when Eberflus was coaching my Bears last year, but I digress. Lamplife 683, if you have this dilemma, first of all, congratulations. I'm going to say what I said to Hunter M. I'm assuming this is a one quarterback league. If that's the case, I don't think you necessarily need to drop one of them right away. I think you should start Daniels over Dak, but see if you could trade Dak to somebody who's struggling at quarterback. Like if somebody started Trevor Lawrence for some reason, that would be a great time to see if you could get some value for Dak. So hopefully you're starting Jaden over Dak.
So you ready for me to throw this one out here, Evan? If this is a 1 QB league and you're going to trade one of these quarterbacks, I would hold on to Dak after this week. I like Dak better rest of the season. I'd move as much as I love Jaden Daniels. You were talking about 2 quarterbacks who are going to be top 5 guys. I think Dak has the better schedule. Dak has the better offense. Not necessarily the better offense, but the offense is going to need to score because their defense is so bad.
At the end of the day, I only care about talent. I don't care about strength of schedule. I don't care about weather.
Sure.
I'm that guy.
Yeah. Plus
and
this,
let me
Dak
add
has healthy receivers.
Yeah, that's true. And let me add another layer here on this as well. If you're selling, someone's going to want Daniels more than they are Dak because it's Dak and it's Daniels. You know, like everybody remembers what Daniels did and was last year. He's not been that guy this year. So if you're going to move off of one of them, I would say try to move off of Daniels simply because I think you're going to get more back as a result, and you're not going to lose much, if anything, at all.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I love this comment. Yeah, watching Optimus over watching the Jags, cries BTJ manager. I'm upset. I got tricked into going a little bit higher on him in this game. I ranked him higher than I really wanted to, but my gut was like, no, come on, it's London. Have fun with it. Yeah, well,
I hate international games. I will forever hate international games. Nobody ever plays at their best overseas. Everybody's jet lagged, and it's just so far to go just to play an NFL game. And the fields are never prepared for NFL football because they're almost always soccer fields. I hate it with a passion, and I'm going to cut off my rant from there because otherwise I could go on and on for the whole stream.
I feel you, man. If they're going to do international games, play more in Mexico City.
It would be easier,
right? Be easier. There are quite a few stadiums that can handle NFL games in Mexico. They love their freaking soccer, man. We should do it there. We got Hunter M 2017. I'm still starting Achane, but would the weather affect his fantasy points? Yes, in a positive way, because he's going to have to run more. And Dak's going to, or not Dak, I'm sorry. Tua is going to focus more on some of that shorter route stuff. Dak, Tua, whatever. It's all the same. 3-letter names. Yeah, two different things here. But yeah, I'm not worried about HN. I think he's going to get a lot of short targets from Tua in bad weather. Plus, I think he's going to see a lot of carries. Ollie Gordon might be a sneaky little flex play here too this week.
Yeah, you're not starting Achane, right? Unless you have just a wealth of riches at running back, which if anybody has at this point, teach me, please. But like I've got him down at RB12. So like you're still starting him and his ceiling is just not there. Like his rushing output last week, I think was a little bit of a false positive. He's just that Dolphins offensive line. It's really bad, and Cleveland's rushing defense is really good. Even as their defense overall has kind of struggled a little bit the last couple weeks, they still shut down the run. So I don't expect Achane to do much in the running game. In the short passing game, different story, because you need to attack this Cleveland defense on the edges outside of the Myles Garrett, the Mason Graham, just the middle of that defensive line that is so formidable. And with the wins, they're probably not going to be able to throw it downfield as much. So that short passing game, the running back angle routes coming right out of the backfield, swing passes, absolutely. That's Achane's sweet spot. And if he's going to thrive today, that's going to be how he does it.
I love how you pretend that Tua can throw the ball downfield in good weather.
Yeah.
I mean,
Evan,
how do you
feel about this?
His wide receivers make him right.
So Hunter, kind of how I was talking about earlier, how I don't care about bad weather. Just because there's expected unappealing weather for any football game doesn't mean bench all the pieces. No, you can absolutely start Achane on the ground because it's not like the wind is going to make the ball fall out of his arm. The Achane will at least hold on to the ball. I mean, if anybody's going to make it fall out of his arm, it's probably going to be Myles Garrett if he can get to Achane. I mean, it's not going to be an easy matchup, but I have Achane at RB5 this week RB6 in PPR leagues. I have Josh Jacobs at 5, but that's just because he's a game time decision, and I can't take him out, dang it, because if he plays, he's going to eat that Cardinals defense alive. But Achane I have at RB6. I think he's going to get enough volume to justify top 10 status. I don't necessarily see the Dolphins beating the Browns, as weird as that is for me to say, but yeah, you can start Achane as an RB1 just fine because I don't see who else they're going to throw to. Tyreek is gone. Malik Washington's not good enough. Jalen Waddle can't do everything out there. So it's like what we were saying. Who's Tua going to throw to, even in good weather?
Right. So that leads into the next.
Well, one thing I just kind of want to say is like you're still starting Achane. Evan, you mentioned Josh Jacobs. Like you're still starting these guys, especially if they play. One thing I think it's important to take into consideration, though, is not necessarily what it does to them because you're still starting them no matter what, but how that impacts other decisions that you make on your roster. Like with Achane's ceiling being lowered this week, in my opinion, I want to take more risks and chase that upside with other plays that I make. If I'm between, this guy in my flex who I know this guy is going to get me like 5 points safely, but this other guy, one of the Tampa Bay wide receivers, for instance, I think he could get me, 15 to 20 or 0. I'm more likely to play that guy to try and make up and chase those points that I'm losing from an Achane matchup this week.
Brenton Strange just dropped an easy little screen pass that probably would have gone for 25 yards. Or not Strange.
Hunter Long, probably.
It was Hunter Long. Yep, 86, Hunter Long. Well, still, come on, guys. It could have been, that would have been 20, 30 yards down the field. It would have been great. This one here, this question leading in with all the Dolphins talk here, with Mike Evans likely to play, would you play him over Waddle with the weather, Evan?
I'd play Evans over Waddle even with good weather. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, me too. Lou, you're the same?
Okay. Go ahead, Lou.
No, go for it, Evan. Go for it.
Go for it, Evan.
Curious to hear your thoughts.
I mean, so Mike Evans has had a lingering hamstring issue for at least the last several seasons. It's a part of just getting older with the amount of mileage he's had on his body over the years. He's going to play through it if he can. It's not going to slow down his production. Baker Mayfield loves him. He's still going to run the routes that he runs best and catch the football with his elite set of hands. Godwin is gone. Emeka Egbuka, I think, is also gone. Is Egbuka playing?
Game time.
Game time decision. Okay, so we don't even know yet. All right, so yeah, I mean, Mike Evans plays. If he's also likely to play, yeah, you better get him in there.
Yeah, I'd be playing a lot of Evans. Who else is Baker going to throw to? Mike Evans, Kate Otten, Sterling Shepard, but he's banged up too. We don't even know if he's going to play. So, Lou?
And see, I'm zigging where you guys are zagging here. I had Mike Evans last year. I know how he struggled through that hamstring, came back and immediately got hurt again. I expect him to be on a pitch count in this game, not just because of his age and everything like that, but just that's how they bring guys back from these. Obviously, that pitch count will most likely tend to the high leverage situations, the red zone where he scores the touchdowns. Great. I'm still not moving him out of that tier where I have the other Tampa Bay wide receivers, the Cameron Johnson, the Tez Johnson, the Sterling Shepard this week. And they're all in that wide receiver 40 to 50 range. So like flex worthy this week, but not more than that. So with that in mind, I'd prefer Waddle. I don't love either, but that's the way I'm going this week.
It's such a toss-up for me with this. I
have something Dolphins related.
Yeah, go ahead.
According to Ian Rappaport just a few minutes ago, the Dolphins are making a change to their quarterback depth chart. So Tua's new backup is Quinn Ewers.
Oh.
So if Tua gets benched, guess who's throwing the ball, baby?
Quinn Ewers. Wow. All right.
Ewers.
Now look, I know we're not a college football show, but I'm going to say this. Steve Sarkisian screwed Quinn Ewers in college. Sarkisian was supposed to turn him into a top-tier quarterback. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Sarkisian is a crappy offensive coordinator. Look what he's doing to Arch Manning. Arch Manning needs to develop, but that's Sarkisian's job is to develop these guys. He didn't properly develop Ewers. Ewers could have been a good quarterback. Very much so. This is Sarkisian's fault.
I'll give you that, because Ewers is the same quarterback now that he was coming out of high school.
Exactly.
As a derogatory.
Yep,
now, how much of that is on him versus Sarkisian? That could be debated by smarter minds than me.
Mm-hmm.
And with what we're seeing out of Arch Manning so far, I can see some smoke coming from your take there, Nate. Like there very well maybe something to that.
To be fair, there's a college football show I listen to occasionally. It's these three women, and they're probably three of the smartest college football talking heads that I've listened to in a while. And they were talking about this very specifically, because like, Quinn Ewers didn't change. Arch Manning hasn't changed. He's the same player he was when he was destroying people in high school, but that doesn't translate to Power 5 conference college football. Sarkisian isn't developing these guys. But we're not going to see Quinn Ewers, hopefully, today.
Well, so I have one more question before we move on from this. So Quinn Ewers was only a 7th-round draft pick. They wanted to see what he could do after just being the same quarterback as he was at University of Texas. Did the Dolphins secretly draft Ewers hoping to start him over Tua someday? Because I don't know if they're that happy with Tua anymore.
I don't think so. I think this is a guy we can get for cheap that could probably be a really good second option at quarterback.
They moved on from Skylar Thompson as a backup and needed someone to take his spot. So they took Ewers, sort of thing. Just a kind of an additional layer to this. Mike McDaniel is also not a good coach. And he changes the offense completely when the backup comes in. Whether it's Skylar Thompson or whoever else they've rolled out behind Tua throughout his injuries over the last couple of years, it's a completely different offense, which if you've owned or, you've managed any Dolphins players over the last couple of years, if Tua is in there, the offense is, looks one way, and the moment he leaves, it looks completely different. And that's Mike McDaniel. So like on top of Sarkisian screwing over Ewers, McDaniel is going to do the same thing if it comes to it. So I have less than no hope for Ewers should he see playing time.
I mean, I've got him taxied in a bunch of dynasty leagues, but that's about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Taxied and cut loose with next year's draft class.
Exactly. All right, we got this one here. This is on Twitch as well. Hey, Landy, ONPS. I love the picture, by the way. It's a good one. Hey, guys, Romeo Dobbs, Tez, or Christian McCaffrey, or Jacoby Myers. Is Jacoby playing today? I know he's been questionable to go all week. We've had some conversation about Jack Besh maybe getting more work in the slot in Las Vegas. I don't know. Which one are you guys rolling with out of this group of four?
I think it's got to be Romeo Dobbs easily. I don't expect Jacoby Myers to play today. Tez should not be started under any circumstances, and Luke McCaffrey is a desperate flex play at best. I don't think he's going to see that much more volume with both damn it, why am I forgetting the wide receiver? Scary Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. I don't think he's going to see that much more volume.
He's been...
See, I do.
See, I do too. With no Deebo and no Terry, I'm probably going to go Christian McCaffrey here. I don't trust Romeo Dobbs.
Luke McCaffrey.
Sorry, yes, Luke McCaffrey. And I could see him seeing that volume. This offense trusts him. Jaden Daniels trusts him. Between McCaffrey and Dobbs, I could go either way. But Tez Johnson and Jacoby Myers are out for me. How about you?
He's supposed to serve as the top wideout today. Oh, boy. Good luck, Washington.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's against that Dallas defense and Kaiir Elam. I mean, I still cannot believe that Buffalo was able to get something for Kaiir Elam, watching the way that he's been toasted like a marshmallow all season.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I go McCaffrey, Dobbs in that order. Essentially coin flip between them. If you feel particularly strongly about one versus the other, go with it. It's your team. Root for the guy you want to root for. That's where I land with it. But I do have McCaffrey a little higher.
Yeah, I've got McCaffrey at wide receiver 38, which isn't high, but it's higher than I've got the other guys. Yeah, all right, we've got this last one from Hunter M 2017. Last for him. I'm in a return points league 2. Who should I start? Sean Tucker or Malik Washington? I would go Sean Tucker because of weather. Don't love Malik Washington returning kicks and just the crap that's going to be in Cleveland. But Evan, how do you feel about it?
I don't agree with that. I think Malik Washington has the more stable volume compared to Sean Tucker, where Tucker is barely seeing backup volume behind Rashad White. And even then, Yeah, Sean Tucker's got the better weather for return volume, but I think Malik Washington is going to see a lot more, being that they're playing the Browns, and the Browns' offense sucks too, so they're going to have to punt a lot. At least I expect them to punt a lot. I mean, I still expect them to beat the Dolphins today. They'll find the end zone at least 2 times, but I think Malik Washington's the safer option here.
All right. Lou, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'm going with Sean Tucker here. Not depending on him actually running the ball at all as a running back. Like, this is purely return. Detroit's going to score, and they're going to score a lot, man. They're going to score a lot. That Bucs defense is not good. Nope. I expect this to be like minimum 35 point game for Detroit. So Sean Tucker is going to be returning a lot of kicks. And as much as I would normally like Malik Washington's floor, and I agree that there'll be, a good amount of punting, I can also see a lot of like the wind playing havoc with the ball and him just not having the opportunity to catch and run on punt returns.
Sure. All right, guys, we're going to move to this next one here. Cinco de Manger, our maven of the news, dropping everything Optimus Fantasy News.bsky.social up to the minute, keeping you informed. Emeka Egbuka has a real chance to play. That's good news for all of us Egbuka managers. It makes me happy. Please, God, let him play. And then inactives will be dropping in a few minutes, guys, and we'll have those for you when they are ready. If not on the show, make sure you're following Optimus Fantasy News.bsky.social. Let's get on to this one here. The Smitty over on YouTube. This is a kicker question, guys. Start 1. Brandon McManus, Matt Gay, Kai May Fairbairn. I'm leaning Fairbairn. I've got him highest in my rankings out of these 3. I'm kind of low on McManus this week. Lou, do you have any thoughts on this kicker situation?
I do my best to not have thoughts on kickers as much as possible. I will plead ignorance here because I believe in saying I don't know when I don't know. So I will defer to you gentlemen on this.
All right. Evan, what do you got?
Well, I don't even know if McManus is healthy enough to play. He's still questionable because of the quad injury, so they might have to turn around and go with Lucas Havrasik again. So you better not be starting McManus if he doesn't play. I think that's a tough one between Gay and Fairbairn, but I do have Matt Gay at kicker 5, and I have Fairbairn at kicker 8. So being that I think the Houston offense will struggle a bit against the Seattle defense, I don't think they're going to struggle completely, but I think the Seahawks are going to beat the Texans today. Matt Gay, I think, is going to get more kicking opportunities against the Dallas defense that might surprise on like maybe 2 or 3 drives, forcing Matt Gay to kick the field goal. So I think Matt Gay has to be the guy that you pick over Fairbairn.
All right. I mean, for me, it's really honestly a toss-up. They're 2 spots apart, so I'm fine with it either way. Plus, it's kickers. I want to throw this out here. Stephon Diggs, active. Jacoby Myers, inactive. And then we've got this one right here. Coach KB on Twitch. A.J. Brown or Keenan Allen at flex. Could also play Pittman or Kittle. Goddard at tight end currently. Oh, I'd flex Kittle. Out of that group of players, I'd flex Kittle. Lou?
I'm just processing the names here.
How do you have so many excellent elite options to flex today? What does your team look like, Coach?
Good drafting, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to
coach, right?
Yeah, I would lean Kittle because of the situation in San Francisco. We've got Mac Jones. We don't have Ricky Pearsall, but you've got George Kittle. I mean, he could be north of 10 targets today, easy.
Yeah, I'm kind of between. As odd as this feels to say, Pittman and Kittle, simply because I think that Indianapolis, Chargers game, they're going to have to score points. Josh Downs is out today, so it's just going to funnel the targets a little bit more between Warren and Pittman there. I think I lean Kittle as well. We know that he's coming back off that injury, but he typically shows up pretty well coming off of injury because he is the athlete that he is.
Yeah. Evan, how do you feel about this?
I think, first of all, I'm still wondering how you have that many options to flex today. That's amazing. I still have A.J. Brown at my flex rankings higher than I do Kittle, just because coming off an injury, and they're also playing the Falcons today, which that defense sucks, but San Francisco has also been known to play down to their competition and find a way to lose games against teams like the Falcons. But I know it doesn't feel good to say A.J. Brown or... ironically enough, I also have Michael Pittman at wide receiver 20 this week against a questionable Chargers defense as well. Keenan Allen I have right below Pittman at 39, and that's why I'm stammering and stalling a bit, because they're all really close for me, these wide receivers. I guess if I had to flip a coin based off of matchup, you could go with Pittman, and I think at least without other options for Daniel Jones to throw to, Pittman should see a healthy volume. Where, the Eagles, I don't know what they're even doing with A.J. Brown anymore. Good job, Nick Sirianni. You took away your elite wide receiver options because you suck at play calling. And Keenan Allen, I just don't think is going to get stable enough volume against the Indianapolis Colts today, who have a pretty good secondary as well. So yeah, that long answer aside, I would say just go Pittman and hope for the best.
All right, I don't hate it. There's a follow-up on this one, guys. The Dobbs, Tez, McCaffrey, or Myers. Or he has Emeka Egbuka. Should he just roll out Egbuka and hope for the best? That's probably, honestly, what I'd do. Because if he plays, he's going to see a lot of volume.
But if he doesn't play, you take a 0.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what your waiver wire looks like, as well as who you would be able to drop at that point. If you can slot Egbuka in for now and potentially pivot to one of Tez Johnson, Cameron Johnson, I'm further down on Sterling Shepard simply because he's banged up and we kind of know what he is. I'm fine with that move, honestly. I know one of these other Tampa Bay wide receivers is going to show out this week. I simply don't know which one to bet on. So that's why I've kind of got them all in the same area. I'm being a coward, and I don't have a problem admitting it.
So here's something you could do. Hey, Landian. We're going to call you Landy. Here's what you could do, Landy. Go see if Cade Otton is available on your waiver wire. Move a wide receiver into that wide receiver slot. Flex Egbuka. If Egbuka doesn't play, you can swap in Cade Otton, who's going to see a lot of volume. We know how much Baker Mayfield loves him. Lewin, you and I have talked about this a ton. So that would be another option for you if you really want to risk it with Egbuka. We've got Brawley619 on Twitch. Yo, Mike.
Before we get to that, we already know that Jacoby Myers is inactive. Brock Bowers, unsurprisingly, is also inactive today. Yep. So if you already had Brock Bowers at an IR slot, you're not pulling him out.
Nope. No, you are not. All right, guys. Mike Evans or Quentin Johnston? This is non-PPR. Lou, which way are you going?
I've got Evans a little bit higher. I've talked earlier. I don't like him this week. I think he's on an extreme pitch count. And that being said, we've kind of started seeing Quentin Johnston start turning back into that pumpkin, and he's also coming back off an injury. So I don't love either option, unfortunately, right now. I've got Evans a couple slots higher, and that's the way I'm going with it, even if I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning the same way. Mike Evans just feels a little tiny bit safer in that offense than I feel about Quentin Johnston. Evan, you feel the same?
I think it's Mike Evans easily here. I've got in standard leagues, I have Mike Evans at wide receiver 19, and I have Quentin Johnston at wide receiver 57. I do not have him high at all this week. Wow. I think because he's turning back into that pumpkin. I would rather take a shot on Jordan Whittington. That's how much I don't believe in Quentin Johnston. So we'll see how well that ages. But in the meantime, it should easily be Mike Evans. Quentin Johnston, listen, the Chargers haven't even decided who their wide receiver 1 in that offense is yet. I mean, granted, they want to get Ladd McConkey more involved, and Quentin Johnston is at least still trying to build some chemistry with Justin Herbert, but it's like we were just talking about. He's turning back into that bricks for hands wide receiver that we don't like to see. Keenan Allen is on his farewell tour as well, taking away some targets, but based on who Tampa Bay has available, you got to go Mike Evans.
Yep, 100%. All right, Cinco de Major letting us know Garrett Wilson is inactive, folks, which we mostly expected, so that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. Aaron Hudson on YouTube. This is full PPR. He needs one running back and one flex from this group. Rico Dowdle, Kenneth Walker, Woody Marks, Ladd McConkey, Jordan Addison, Tet McMillan. He's already got Davante Adams, CeeDee Lamb, and Devon Achane starting. Who are you flexing, and who's your running back out of this group, Evan?
I'm going to need a few minutes, so you can defer to Lou if you want.
All right, Lou, go for it. Let's hear it.
Yeah, sure. Running back wise, I'm definitely going Dowdle. that he's going to split work with Chuba. Who's going to be the lead? I don't know. I suspect we're going to see pretty much a 50-50 split, or close enough to that it works out that way. And with Chuba coming off that injury, I wouldn't be surprised if it slants a little bit more towards Dowdle. We've obviously seen him do well enough the last 2 weeks that he's earned our trust, where if he sees the field, we need to play him. With regards to your flex spot there, bear with me just 1 second here. First of all, congrats on the very good options. Yeah. I'm going Tet here. I don't love Young as a quarterback for this, and his matchup is not as juicy, that sort of thing. I do have Tet and Ladd in the exact same tier. All your wide receivers I have ahead of your other running backs, for what it's worth. So this is between the wide receivers for me. I do have Tet like literally 2 spots ahead of Ladd right now, and then Addison just a couple spots behind. So that's really splitting hairs here. So give me Tet. If you feel strongly about one of the other wide receivers, by all means roll with that guy. But yeah, it's
Tet for me too. I'm with you on Dowdle. I really think that this is going to turn into a situation, Lou, where we see Hubbard get most of the passing work. We see Dowdle get a lot of the rushing work. I mean, neither one's going to completely take over either, but I think that that's going to be about how it's going to be split. Hubbard's a better pass catching back. Dowdle's a better running back. He's averaging more yards per carry. He's not seeing as many targets as Hubbard was seeing. So and I'm okay with that, especially in this matchup. I like the rushing volume out of Dowdle. We weren't getting a ton out of him in the passing game anyway, just 200-yard games, But then I'm with you with Tet. A little bit different reason, though. I like the Jalen Coker's back. I think that takes some of the pressure off of Tet, and it's going to force defenses to focus other places. It's going to open Tet up, even if just a little bit more than he's been opened up before. I know Lou doesn't maybe agree with me here. That's just the way I kind of see it. Sure. Different routes to the same ending. Yeah.
Yeah, it's splitting hairs one way or another. Like, I really don't have a problem with it, even if I slightly disagree with the logic, simply because I think Young limits and caps it too much. Is all. Oh, it's more about Young to me than the other players.
Yeah, no more short jokes, Lou. No, I'm kidding. All the short jokes you want. All right, Evan.
It's fine.
Evan, which way are you going on this one, buddy?
For your running back, Aaron, I think you got to go Ken Walker. I mean, I know we loved seeing Rico Dowdle explode out of that Carolina backfield, but with Chuba Hubbard returning, they're going to want to get Chuba involved. Who leads the backfield remains to be seen. It could be a split backfield, but that's also why I would rather go Walker, because he's at least the lead in his split backfield with Zach Charbonnet. Seattle is playing Houston's defense, which a lot of people like to say it's a tough matchup, but it really isn't. Houston's defense is not that good. I don't know what people are thinking with that part. Maybe it's Texans fans who believe in their defense, and I appreciate that, but I think you got to go Walker over Dowdle here to be safe. And now for this flex spot, I agree with these guys. You got to go Tet McMillan here. I agree with Nate here about that. Getting Jalen Coker back is going to take some pressure off of Tet and should open up the passing game for this awful Panthers team. And even then, just because it's awful doesn't mean you're not getting fantasy points out of it. So yeah, I would rather have Tet over Woody, Ladd, and Addison as well. Even more so than Dowdle. My rankings don't reflect that because I wasn't expecting Chuba to play this week, but I'm definitely fading Rico Dowdle. It's, even playing against a crappy Jets defense now, I still don't trust both backs to be super fantasy relevant in full PPR.
Sure.
Now, that being said, start Dak, Nix, or Jones.
I missed that part.
I was going to get that one next. I just wanted to finish the first top part.
Okay.
But yeah, go for it. Let's dig into it, Evan. Go for it.
All right, I'll do it.
All right, let's go.
So I have Dak at QB3, like I said earlier in the show. So I think this is the week you got to fire up Dak. Aaron, I hope this is a 2-quarterback league, because otherwise rostering 3 quarterbacks in a 1-quarterback league is really, really bad. And you should be able to trade at least one of those guys to a quarterback-needy team if it's a 1-quarterback league. Otherwise, you can safely drop Bo Nix and hopefully trade Danny Dimes to somebody in need.
Or it could be Mac Jones, too. Could have been a waiver wire pickup.
Or maybe it's Forgetful Jones from Sesame Street.
Oh, it could be too. But either way, no matter who these other players are, I'm going with Dak. I've got him as QB2 this week. There's nobody I'm really going to start over him except for maybe Jaden Daniels. Lou, where are you at?
Yeah, I mean it's Dak, and more Dak. I almost don't care what the format is. Like if these are your quarterbacks, assuming that's Danny Dimes there, you can cut Bo Nix. Like just let him go, set him free, send him to that upstate farm in New York, where he can run free with all of his friends. It'll be okay. Like it's
where everybody's dog goes.
Exactly.
So he did follow up on this here. Only a one
no,
QB
Aaron.
league. He's planning on. Well, no, it's okay because he's going to move Jones or Nix, and I think there are times in one QB leagues where I have done this, where I've stacked 3 quarterbacks because you've got some guys you're like, I don't know what's going to happen here, and I want the best of one of these. And then kind of once you figure out what's what, then you start moving away from some of the other players. So, Aaron, I don't think this is a bad move necessarily, and I like that you're going to move one of them. You can probably get more for dimes, honestly. And I
would trade Daniel Jones for sure.
Yeah, he's dimes on this show, man. He's dimes. All right, Tyler Sperry with Myers out. Who are we going with, Otten or Fannin? I'm leaning Fannin. We know he's going to get some volume. I'm not sure who the other Meyer is. Actually, Tyler, maybe throw this. Maybe Mayer. It might be Michael Mayer. Well, I'm definitely not starting Michael Mayer.
Yeah, there's no reason to start Michael Mayer, I don't think.
And actually, I'm going to say I'm leaning Cade Otten over Harold Fannin as I'm looking at this and thinking about it. I'd rather have Otten over Fannin. I like Fannin a lot. I think he's going to see volume even in this crappy weather, but I think Otten's probably going to see north of 10 targets in this game today.
Go ahead, Lou.
Okay, I was going to say I wouldn't be shocked if Fannin does as well. He saw 15 targets last week, which
that's true.
What the heck? Where did that come from? Good Lord. I've got them as tight end 5 and tight end 6, like with Otten one spot ahead. Really good problem to have. I think they're both going to be productive this week. Even if it's only like tight end PPR scammy kind of way, both decent number of targets, decent number of receptions, good yardage. Hopefully whoever you start finds the end zone once or twice. But I say Otten, but I don't have a problem with either. I probably roll Otten simply because, weather issues and all that sort of thing.
Yep. Evan, where are you at on this one?
So, Tyler, I don't think starting either one is going to be a bad thing. You can't lose with this decision, but right now I have Harold Fannin at tight end 12 and Otten at tight end 15. The Detroit defense is still really good, and I think that could make things a bit tough for Otten because the Lions have really good linebackers and a pretty good secondary as well, even though Branch is suspended for what he did. I still think that they have a respectable defense, and I think that Miami's defense is nothing compared to what Detroit has. So that's why I also have Fannin out there because their wide receivers suck. There's no other way to say it. I mean, maybe Isaiah Bond can be decent someday, as terrible of a person as he is, but it's probably going to be the Harold Fannin show with no Njoku today, as much as I don't like to admit it. So I'm rolling Fannin over Otten today if I had to pick one.
All right. I mean, I don't hate that. Like Lou, like you said, there really isn't a bad choice here. You're going to be happy either way. Yeah. These guys are going to be high volume, top 5, top 10 tight ends. All right. Epic Domo 14 over on Twitch wants to know. He needs to pick 2 out of this group here. Rome Odunze, George Pickens, Ashton Genty, Saquon Barkley. Evan, which way are you going with these 4 players?
Pick 2. I'm Epic Domo. I'm guessing this is for a flex spot. These are some really high-end options to just pick 2. I mean, it makes me wonder how good your team is, too. My gosh. We're going to assume this is for flex because I don't have more information than that. So Odunze is definitely 1, and I think we're going to go Genty as the second one.
Yep, those are my 2 highest-ranked flex players, Odunze and Genty, and that's where I'm going. Lou, what are you doing?
I've got a little bit of an if-then to this. If you're behind because you played against, some Bengals from Thursday night, that sort of thing, you played against Davante Adams. If you're going against Jamar Chase and Davante Adams this week, you kind of got to chase points. I'm going with Saquon, who's going against Minnesota. They've got a really banged up run defense. I still believe in their passing defense. And then I throw Odunze in there as well against a really, really suspect Saints passing defense. If you're not, I pivot Odunze to Genty. I'm real worried about this Vegas offense this week, man. I think I'm worried enough that it's going to limit Genty. just in he doesn't get the opportunities to do what he does, that kind of way. That being said, this is a division game. They get weird because these teams know each other and have a surprising amount of hate for each other, considering one's been so good and the other's been so bad for so long. But yeah, so there's that if then to it, but Saquon is one for me, and then it's between Odunze and Genti for the other one.
All right, I don't hate that. Odunze he's just so damn good, man. I've got him at wide receiver 4 this week. I'm way the hell ahead of consensus on him, and I don't care. All right, we're gonna.
I was gonna say something else to Epic Domo. I was gonna say, I don't think you can really go wrong with Saquon or Genti this week because I think both will still eat. I have Saquon technically higher in my rankings than I do Genti, but being that the Minnesota defense is pretty inconsistent with stopping the run, that's why I went Genti at this point. But I mean, either way, I wouldn't start Pickens over any of these guys.
Yeah, no, not with CeeDee Lamb back. Pickens goes back to being a low-end wide receiver 2, and that's just unfortunate for George Pickens. All right, Alpha sucks at mock drafts. I feel you, man. I know how. So, yeah, and he makes a good point. Fannin came from the Browns throwing the ball 50 times. It won't happen this week because of weather. At least it shouldn't. And we agree, but that doesn't mean that he's not going to see 10 targets, 8 targets, in volume. Yeah.
I have something to add to that as well. Just because weather is super windy and bad doesn't mean they're just going to go, well, let's just never throw the football. They're going to draw up plays to figure out how to get the ball in the hands of their receivers, even if they have to go screen heavy or even if they have to rely on 5 or 6 yard passes the way that Kyler Murray likes to do in good weather too. That's a shot at Kyler, by the way. You suck at quarterback, Kyler Murray. Anyway, we're talking about the Browns here. Dillon Gabriel will definitely work with Kevin Stefanski on getting more shorter passes completed in that windy game. So I wouldn't be benching guys like Fannin because of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So I've got 2 things here. One is math. One is game film. I'm going to start with the math. Even 50 times, that was an almost 29% target share for Fannin last week. That's absurd. That's Brock Bowers rookie level air right there. Yeah. Recognize what we're seeing there. Okay. So even with greatly reduced passing attempts, if we're going to see that level out of Fannin this week, and there's a really good reason to think that we will, that's still very, very startable. I understand 15 targets might be the aberration, but still, I also didn't think there was any way in hell that they would throw the ball 52 times last week with Dillon Gabriel making his second start ever. What is this? Anyhow, the other thing is, Gabriel is a very arm strength limited quarterback. He can't throw outside the numbers well at all. He's really got to give it everything he got, but he's very, very comfortable over the middle of the field. And we've seen that this year, trying to hit Judy when Judy drops the ball again. 41% catch rate for Jerry Judy, by the way. My God. But both Njoku and Fannin have been really showing out well every week, both of them. And it's because he's so comfortable throwing over the middle, even where it's busy and everything like that. So I don't think, yes, the weather is going to limit things a little bit, but because he's not going to be trying all those throws outside the numbers, Fannin should still see quite a bit of volume and eat.
Yeah, look, I don't like Dillon Gabriel as a person, personally. No. When we were at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, he was the only quarterback out of all of the quarterbacks there who wouldn't talk to the media. He went on the other side of the line. We weren't allowed to cross, and he would call over ESPN people if he wanted to talk to them, but he wouldn't talk to any of us normies. It was really off-putting because guys like Jackson Dart, who had a much higher draft grade than Dillon Gabriel going into Mobile, was out in the middle talking to everybody, smiling, shaking hands, and Gabriel's over here being a prick. It's just kind of real, I don't know. I don't think guys like that have a very long NFL career. He's a little too full of himself. He's short. He's got a subpar arm. This
is 5'11". He's not that short.
He's doomed already.
For an NFL quarterback, that's short.
Yeah.
I mean, just because he's 5'11" doesn't mean he can't. Russell Wilson's 5'11" and he had a great career. But you're right about Dillon Gabriel, though. He's not going to have a long quarterback NFL career. He's a 3rd-round pick, and he's not really looking that good as a rookie. But we'll see if that ages well.
And also, I call BS on 5'11". He's shorter than me, and I'm 5'10". So I'm just going to say that. I've seen him in person. He is not 5'11".
Is he 5'11" in cleats?
Yeah, 5'11" and 3-inch heels is what he is. We'll call it that.
Oh, my gosh.
Or platforms like my dad used to wear. All right, KBJ11 KBJ over on Twitch. He wants to know Waller or the Chargers tight end.
I like how this question is worded.
I know, me too. I love it.
We don't even bother spelling Oronde Gadsden. Let's just say Chargers tight end.
Well, it's a mouthful, man. I'm going Waller. Touchdown upsides there. We know it's going to be there. We know he's going to get red zone targets. And in this game, if they're inside the 5, maybe they'll chuck it to him once or twice and score. I just don't. Gadsden isn't seeing consistent volume, and it's hard to know. He might see 5 targets. He might see 0 targets. We don't know.
Also,
much like Jordan
Whittington
Whittington.
back.
Yeah, and with Quentin Johnson back, that does change stuff a little bit too. Lou, so you're with me on this?
Yeah, it's. Listen, I love Oronde Gadsden. I hope he sees more volume throughout the year because I think he is one of the better, especially short range options that they have. That kind of security blanket, especially with Omari and Hampton out. But yeah, for this week, this game, I still go Waller.
Evan, same with you.
I think Waller's a safer option for this week. I know we're worried about the windy Miami-Cleveland game, but guys, don't worry. They're going to figure out how to get the ball in the hands of these guys in short yardage. I mean, it especially benefits Waller in the red zone because if the Dolphins can run the ball down the field, they can easily hit Waller in the end zone, even with Tua throwing badly, and it's only just a few yards to just cross that line. It's not like the wind is going to send the ball in the stands just after 5 yards.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'll add one more thing though about Gadsden. So yes, please keep an eye on Oronde Gadsden because the Chargers do want to get the ball in his hands. They like him a lot. Tyler Conklin is almost not even playing anymore. That's how much they love Gadsden. Yeah. And they have Will Dissly back, who's like getting second banana tight end targets at this point. They want to get Gadsden involved, but I don't think against a tough Colts defense, this is the week to do it. Because remember, the Chargers played the Dolphins last week, which is also why Kimani Vidal exploded. When you play the Dolphins defense, you eat. When you play the Colts defense, good luck, because Lou Anarumo was a really good defensive coordinator. So, yeah, go Waller.
I want to throw this out here real quick, and it made me chuckle. You might have seen me laughing. I have 11 standing on Jalen Milroe's shoulders.
That's, oh my gosh.
Jalen Milroe, that dude is so freaking nice. Him and Jackson Dart were like the 2 nicest people in Mobile. It was pretty crazy. But he's a big dude. He's a big dude. What's that?
It's got to be an SEC versus Pac-10 or whatever it was by the time Gabriel's career ended, that sort of thing.
Marshawn Lloyd the year before was great too, though. He was so freaking nice, just personable, and just wanted to talk to everybody. Ricky Pearsall as well, which is pretty cool. Alpha, it's Alf. I've been saying Alpha. It's Alf sucks at mock drafts. In one league, I have Fannin in. I also have Warren. Then he's got Judkins hanging out in his flex, and I'm not benching him for anything against this Dolphins defense. Phil Yates said it on Fantasy Focus this week. They did their very first ever live broadcast of Fantasy Focus on ESPN, and I love Field, and Daniel Dobbs, so I watched along. Mike Clay was there too, which was fine, I guess. And Phil made a joke about Judkins, saying that his over-under on rushing yards this week should be right around 280. This is just going to be a disgustingly high-volume game. When you've got a back like that, you punch him. You just keep going. You punch the line. You keep running it. You just let him amass 35 carries and 200-something yards rushing on the ground. But we'll see.
I don't even think you might need it to get there. Like Evan said, this Dolphins rushing defense is awful. And I mean, Judkins has ripped off some big runs against some good defense, really good defenses. You know, he would have had, if not for a couple of really unnecessary holding calls the previous week, he would have been at like right around 160, 165 in a touchdown. So yeah. I mean, Judkins is the smashiest of smash plays this week. He absolutely should be in your lineup anywhere you can get him, that sort of thing. And just, I love that for you, Alf. You may suck at mock drafts, but you don't suck this week.
I just love the name. Okay, so on a scale of Kyler Murray to Trevor Lawrence, how bad is the Miami defense exactly?
Comparing defenses to quarterbacks, that's interesting.
Nathan Peterman.
Ooh, he's a Nathan. That's bad. That's real bad. As I'm sitting here watching Trevor Lawrence yet again overthrow Brian Thomas Jr. down the right side of the field.
He doesn't know where the ball's going. He doesn't know where the ball is going once it leaves his hand. and in the bad weather. Oh,
yeah.
So
and like I have said, and I will keep saying, what makes Trevor Lawrence so bad is his complete lack of situational and field awareness. He took a sack on 4th and 3 just a few minutes ago. Fortunately, they got negated by a penalty, but
I have a defensive related question. So Zadarius Smith retired out of nowhere.
Yep.
Brandon Graham, there's some speculation about him potentially returning. If the rumors are true and he does come back to the Eagles, does that change how we think of the Eagles defense?
Not really for me. Lou?
I mean, in the respect that it would be one more body, like they're clearly a body or two down right now. Like it's very painfully obvious that they're not right. So I understand why there would be mutual interest there. I've loved Brandon Graham throughout his career before this current iteration of the Eagles team, where I just want to punch Nick Sirianni in the face constantly. But I rooted for Brandon Graham from afar. I thought he was an underappreciated guy for a long time. Really happy to see him get his rate, like all that, right? Coming back at this point would be like final year Peyton Manning in Denver, where it's just, oh no,
that was brutal. No, why did you do
not like this? Right. So like I would understand why it would happen, and could it be a little better than what they have now? Sure. And I still don't expect it to be good or good enough.
Sure.
But like, speaking of the Eagles, like the Eagles played the Dallas Cowboys week 1, right? Like first game of the year, everything like that. It was closer than everybody expected, this, that, and the other thing. This Cowboys defense has been downy soft all year. Can't cover anything. How did AJ Brown get a single target? One target in that game against this defense?
Nick Sirianni's not a good coach. He's been propped up by good coordinators. Last year he was propped up by Vic Fangio. Like, this is just what it is.
Phenomenal GM.
And a phenomenal GM. Howie Roseman is so freaking good at his job. Yes. Nick Sirianni's not a good coach. This Eagles team is skating by, and until they get rid of Nick Sirianni, this is what this team is. It's a trash team that gets lucky because Howie Roseman stacked it with talent. And in spite of coaching, they can still find ways to win. And they're going to do it this year, and it's going to be frustrating. They're going to make a Super Bowl run with this crap offense and this mediocre defense. But it's because they have such talent that these guys will themselves to win in spite of Nick Sirianni. And also, I don't take back my tweet. Philly fans suck. I'm just going to say it. They threw batteries at Santa Claus, man.
Yeah, that's unforgivable. It's Santa. Come on now. I have one more thing to say about the Rams and Jaguars game. It kind of goes off of Carly's comment here. I mean, yeah, I agree with you, Alf. I don't know how they do it either, but it kind of comes back on Carly's comment here. So if you're in PPR, Brian Thomas Jr. has 6.1 fantasy points right now, 3 of 7 targets for 31 yards. Parker Washington has 3 carries for 10, and he's got 6.7. He's leading the wide receivers in fantasy points right now. And he's also got 3 catches on 7 targets for 27 yards. So I don't know what happened with their Travis Hunter, but I guess he's playing more cornerback?
Travis Hunter?
I said this all off season, and no one wanted to listen to me. This is what happened to Charles
the dude
Woodson
from the commercial.
Too. Yeah.
Which commercial?
We're not. But let's hear it for the boys one.
Let's hear it for the boys. Look, at the end of the day, it's the same thing with Charles Woodson. First overall pick in the NFL draft. He goes to the Raiders. They really wanted him to play both ways. He did end up returning kicks, but he never really got a foothold as a wide receiver because they saw the value in what he did on defense. And they knew long-term, this guy can play into his late 30s. You transition him to a safety as he gets a little bit older and a little bit slower. You re-up that production, and you've got a guy for 18 years in the NFL who could probably be a Hall of Fame level player and change the way your team plays. He wasn't going to do that on offense. That's the same thing with Travis Hunter. He's not a game changer on offense. He's a really good wide receiver, but he's not the guy who's going to change your fortunes in one position. However, lockdown corners can change your life. We've seen that, and they change defenses.
Come back, Jalen Johnson. We miss you.
Yeah. Right.
And I just had the random thought of, would I like Travis Hunter better with not Trevor Lawrence as his quarterback? And I think I'm coming to the realization that I would. Like, we've seen Trevor Lawrence, airmail and skunk, more passes than he has any right to at this point in his career.
Yep.
Would I like him better with Joe Flacco? Considering what we've seen out of Flacco in Cincinnati and even in Cleveland, like he's going to give his guys a chance. Hunter's not getting the chance.
No.
And we've seen him make some incredible plays this year, as long as he gets the chance. He's just not getting it. Yeah. So I can't help but wonder, would it be different? And that's one of those, what if?
It is. It's a big what if. All right, we're going to get to this last question from Alf over here on YouTube, and then we are going to get out of here because I got lineups to set. You got lineups to set. What do we think of Liam Cohen so far? Alf personally has not liked a lot of the decisions he's been making. Hunter should have been playing quarterback full time and played wide receiver in the red zone. I don't disagree with that. I think Cohen's a first time coach. I think he's figuring out how to do this. He's figuring out how to be a head coach, and he's got a team that is not that talented. And this is what it is.
That's essentially what I think as well. I think Liam Cohen is better than the last two coaches they had, one of them being Urban Meyer.
Low bar. Real low bar.
So it's a really low bar in Jacksonville because they have not done well with Doug Peterson either. And I mean, I guess it just goes to show that he was always overrated on the Eagles too. So, yeah, Liam Cohen is a breath of fresh air on a really bad Jacksonville team that just needs to clean house. Yeah, I know they're 4-2, but they also play in the AFC South, which is also a really terrible division. So, yeah, it's not going to be... I mean, they beat the Chiefs, too, and good for them, because the Chiefs are not as good as they used to be. But Liam Cohen, I think, just needs some time to get acquainted with this team. He needs time to build the offense the way he wants it. And he's got to get more defensive talent, too. I mean, the defense is already a lot better than last year, but you wouldn't know it today based off of this awful London game where, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I don't like these European games. Just move them all back to Mexico City. Enough already. Right. This is bad football.
Yeah. Who's the Jaguars defensive coordinator?
I don't know off the top of my head, actually.
No, neither do I. Well, and because the thing is, this team looks like it doesn't, like you said, Liam Cohen is a first-time head coach, right? And it looks like he's just not as familiar with being the guy to make the decisions, to put, not necessarily to not make the schemes, because obviously we know he's he's got a good mind, that sort of thing. Yep. He still only had a single year as offensive coordinator for the Bucs. So like, he's not one of these guys that was an offensive coordinator for 3, 4, 5 years, not Ben Johnson, who had the ability to kind of sit and watch. Not that everybody doesn't watch, but it's different when you are the right-hand man versus, the right-hand man of the right-hand man of the right-hand man, which is what Cohen kind of is. So I expect it to take a little bit longer if it's going to improve a lot. And we need to remember, like Evan said, this was a roster that is kind of destitute of overall talent, and they gave up a lot to move up a couple spots to take Travis Hunter, who, not necessarily through any fault of his own, hasn't shown up the way they've needed him to so far this year. So it's just really kind of putting them all behind the 8 ball. So it's a lot of, I think, misfitting pieces, the sum of the pieces being less than the value of their parts, that sort of thing. And I think it needs time, probably a couple years, honestly, before we see like real actionable change.
Yep. I don't disagree at all. All right. One more, then we are actually going to get out of here, folks. Let me pop this one up here. Waller or Cade Otton? Evan, which one are you going with?
I actually have Waller higher just because of his red zone usage, but being that I have Cade Otton a little lower than I'd like just because he's playing against a tougher Detroit defense, I think you can take a shot on Waller and be fine, but I don't think you could go wrong with either.
Yep, I'm with you. Lou?
I go Cade Otton. Easy peasy, sleep well at night.
All right, start one. David Montgomery, Woody Marks, or Mondre Stevenson? Which one are we rolling with? Lou, start with you.
Yeah, I'm going with Montgomery. Detroit's saying they want to get back to more what it was last year with Montgomery leading the charge and have Gibbs be the curveball. So you roll with Monty Dude's a fringe top 12 running back when they're rolling like that.
Evan?
I have to go David Montgomery as well. I have him at RB27 in PPR, and then I have Ramondre Stevenson at RB29 against a bad Tennessee defense. I think it's a split backfield in New England. It's not going to be good for either guy, for Henderson or Ramondre. I know it's also a split backfield in Detroit as well with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, but they run the ball so dang well. Tampa Bay's defense is pretty decent at stopping the run, but they're not stopping Detroit's running backs at all. They're gonna run all over this defense. And Woody Marks, it doesn't see enough volume behind Nick Chubb to where I'd be safe starting him yet. So yeah, go David Montgomery.
Yep, I love it. All right, guys, we are going to get out of here because we're running a little bit behind here. We've got 50 minutes until kickoff. Woohoo! Week 7, here we go. All right. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. We love getting the questions. Make sure you come back next Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lou and I will be here to answer your question. It is Evan's week off. And tonight, you can check out The Express with myself and Kevin Tompkins. We're going to roll through everything that happened today. That goes off after the end of the Sunday night football game tonight. If you've got questions, make sure you head over to our Discord channel. The link is in the show description. We are there all of the time to answer your questions. And if you need some tools, 25% off your first 4 months at tools.optimusfantasy.com with the code OptimusFall. With that, for Evan Sather and Lou Brunson, I'm Nate Polvogt. Happy Sunday, folks. Go out there and win.